All right, welcome everyone. Excellent. Getting ourselves set up here. I'm going to give it a minute or two for people to join. But if you all want to start typing into the chat box where you're joining us from this evening, we love getting to see how far our classes are reaching. If we have any repeats, if you've taken classes with us before, we love to hear that as well. So if you feel comfortable, just go ahead and type into that chat box. Let us know where you're joining in from this evening, and we will get started in about 2 or 3 minutes. Connecticut, awesome. I've been to Connecticut once. I did my undergraduate at UVM, so I spent a lot of time bopping around New England. Michigan, I love Michigan. I was just at a great herb conference in Michigan over the summer. Another Michigander. All of the people I know from Michigan describe where they are based on the hands, the glove, the mitten, I guess. Illinois, North Carolina. Oh, Iowa, wonderful. Frontier or Acacia is based in Iowa. Washington State, fantastic. We've got people coming from all over this evening. Let's see, where did I miss? Ooh, Indiana. Excellent. So I'm going to give it about 1 more minute. Oh, New York, Miami, Florida. Oh, but the weather is lovely there right now. It's starting to get cold here in Virginia. Connecticut, awesome. Lots of wonderful New Englanders here this evening. I bet it's getting cold up in New England. If it's as cold as it is here in the DC area. Although today actually got pretty warm, but it drops pretty quickly at night. All right, I'm gonna give it 1 more minute. Let me go ahead and pull up my recipes for tonight. All right. I am going to go ahead and get started. So let me close the chat here. All right. Welcome, everyone. My name is Betsy Miller. We were originally going to have Elena teach this class this evening, but she and I had to switch for this evening. So she'll be in the chat box with you all. So any questions that you have, my wonderful aromatherapy educator counterpart will be in the chat box to answer any questions. I will check the chat box throughout the evening. And oh, another question already coming in. What do you do with empty bottles? Great question. And Elena will answer that for you in the chat box. She'll clarify with you if you mean these empty bottles or these empty bottles. So yes, Elena will be in the chat box this evening answering all your wonderful aromatherapy or acacia related questions. So a little bit about me. Again, my name is Betsy, and I'm an aromatherapy educator with Oracacia. I've been with Oracacia for about 8 years. I'm also a registered herbalist with the American Herbalist Guild, and I live in Northern Virginia, the DC area. And I love all things plants and essential oils and teaching. So getting to spend the next 30, 40 minutes with you all this evening talking about one of my favorite aspects of plants, which is essential oils, just it makes me feel so happy. I've got my tea. My current obsession is my Tulsi cinnamon rose tea from organic India. This is just like magic in a cup. So I'll be drinking this evening. I'm getting over the most recent head cold that my wonderful, sweet, cherubic little 2-year-old brought home from daycare. So that's been my week. But this evening we are going to be talking about some recipes that you can make to give as holiday gifts or keep as yourself or for yourself. I mean, if you are, I saw this, I guess it was a meme. I don't know, or real. I'm not up on the difference between all the different social media things. But it basically said the magic of the holidays is brought to you by the by the efforts of the mother figures in life. And now that I am a mother and I realize all the work that goes into making the holiday magic happen for my kids, I feel that very hard. So if these recipes call to you and you want to keep them for yourself, by all means do that. Um, Otherwise, these make really wonderful gifts to give to your loved ones during the holiday season. I'm a firm believer in the idea that we don't have to kill ourselves or go broke or stress about money over the holidays. If I don't think we should. I think that homemade or handmade gifts are so much more personal. I think they show so much more um, love and personality than an Amazon wish list. Nothing necessarily against Amazon because I definitely rely on it, but whenever possible, I like making my gifts. So I'm making a bunch of different things for relatives this year. I'm making like a cuticle balm to give to my mother-in-law and my mother. I'm making some hair oils to give to some of my girlfriends, so beard oils to give to some of my guy friends. So I really just love this idea of stepping away from the consumer aspect of the holidays and making things ourselves to show love. I do the same thing with baking. I love baking. And there's a reason that baking for other people makes us feel so good. It's an act of service. And I think that making gifts is an act of service. So that's my little plug on DIY for the holidays. So a little very quick little background about Oracacia. So Oracacia, we are part of Frontier Co-op. Frontier Co-op is based in Iowa, and I like to say that Frontier, is like our home, our mothership. And under Frontier Co-op, we have Oracacia, us with the amazing essential oils. We have Simply Organic with the incredible vanilla extract that I use all the time. And then we have Plant Boss. And Plant Boss does the vegan meat alternatives like vegan tacos and things like that. So that's our Frontier family. And we are one of the only remaining co-ops for bulk herbs and spices in the entire country. And it's a wonderful company to work for. They help support my daycare expenses. So I just have to, put in a plug for just how amazing Frontier is, and Oracacia as well, with our commitment to ethical sourcing of plants, because it takes such a huge volume of plant matter to make these essential oils. Um, Making sure that all of our products are tested from the top, the middle, and the bottom of the barrel to ensure complete purity and no adulteration with any of the Oracacia products. All of these things are things that we take very seriously in Oracacia. If you were part of our aroma series that we wrapped up last month, or no, 2 months ago, wow, oh my gosh, I'm really struggling with the fact that next week is Thanksgiving. Like, I feel like I don't understand how it's already that point in November. I feel like October just started yesterday. So 2 months ago, we wrapped up our aroma series where we covered top, middle, and base notes, and we talked about our GCMS testing, so gas chromatography, mass spectrometry, where we look at the aroma profiles of our essential oils that we get in and make sure that they line up with the expected aroma profile of what that essential oil should look like. And that's one of the ways that we test for purity and adulteration. And we're publishing all of that information on our website. So Elena's going to put a bunch of links in the chat box for you this evening. She'll put a link to one of our GCMS reports if you're, a geek like me and you love to go down the rabbit hole of science. She can also post a link to our YouTube channel. The majority of our previous Oracacia virtual classes are up on the YouTube channel, including the 3-part aroma series. So if you missed that, there is no need to fear. You can always watch that anytime on our YouTube channel. And then as we go through the recipes tonight, Elena's going to post those for you, so you don't have to worry about trying to write everything down as we go. You can just enjoy. If you got the materials ahead of time, you can make them along with me. And those recipes will be up on the website and available for you starting this evening. So thank you for being my amazing chat room officiant, Elena. Okay, the last thing I just wanted to see, we do have a live transcript going. So if you don't want to see it, you can hit the CC button at the bottom of your screen and then click hide subtitles, and that will take that away. Okay. So the first recipe we're going to make this evening is our holiday tree room mist. So this is, I actually like spraying our Christmas tree with this. I had a very interesting upbringing. My dad was Jewish, so we celebrated Hanukkah. My mother is Catholic, so we celebrated Christmas. So we had the whole, so much representation of different traditions in my home growing up. And I'm trying to carry that on with my children and teach them about, the different the different things celebrated by different cultures this time of year. But we do put up a Christmas tree, and I'm obsessed with the smell of pine and fresh cut tree in my home. I'm constantly making mists that feature like pine and balsam fir and spruce. And there's a reason for that. So these, in particular, conifers like pine, they contain certain constituents like pinene, which is a type of phytochemical. It's a type of volatile oil. And there have been a lot of studies that show that inhaling these compounds from trees actually benefits our mood, our immune system. And there's a practice called forest bathing. In Japan, it's called Shinrin-yoku, where you literally just go out into the forest and breathe in all these phytochemicals. And if you are a research geek like me, you can go on PubMed and search forest bathing and see all the incredible benefits of being out in the woods. So one of my favorite things about this time of year, and I would do this even if I didn't celebrate Christmas, is bringing the trees into my home. I wish I could turn my camera and show you guys my little plant corner over here. But my favorite thing about Christmas, Yule, however we want to celebrate, is bringing the pine tree from outside into my home and having that incredible aroma for a good 6 weeks, 2 months until we take it down. And I also love making this room mist that I even will spray on the tree when it starts to lose some of that aroma. But you can spray it on wreaths, you can spray it on furniture. It's such a great way to bring that holiday ambiance into your space. So it's a really easy one to make. All you need is a mist bottle. I've already put my 2 ounces of water in the mist bottle. You can also just eyeball it and fill it up to right above the label there. I usually recommend using distilled water because it's less likely that you'll have any bacteria grow in the products that you make when you use distilled water. I just use tap water because I go through this mist so quickly this time of year that I'm not super concerned about it. And then we are going to do 1 tablespoon of a carrier oil. The reason we do 1 tablespoon of a carrier oil is that we never want to put essential oils directly on our skin, right? They are too strong, they're too concentrated. So when we're spraying room mist, if you like it so much that you end up wanting to spray it on yourself, we just want to make sure that we're protecting our skin from any direct contact with the essential oils. You could also use vegetable glycerin if you didn't want to use a carrier oil. The carrier oil also helps the essential oils stick around a little bit longer when we spray them because the volatile oils, those essential oils, bind to the carrier oil and they get held there instead of just dissipating into the airspace and volatilizing, meaning just disappearing more quickly. So a lot of benefits to adding our carrier oil. So we're going to do 1 tablespoon, which I'm going to eyeball because I know it's about 2 very big squeezes. Is about a tablespoon of our carrier oil, and I went with grapeseed oil this evening. You can use any of the Orcish carrier oils, I will say with the exception of castor. The reason for that is castor oil, as amazing as it is for skincare and hair care, it's way too thick to put in a mist bottle. It'll just clog that mist mechanism. Then we are going to do 4 drops of sweet orange. And I mean, I don't know a single person who can smell sweet orange and not smile. It's just joyful and uplifting and very much associated with the holidays. I used to like tease my mom because she would tell me stories of when she was little and it was like a really big deal to get an orange in your stocking at Christmas. And now it's like we go to the grocery store and buy like a sack of oranges. But I always associate the smell of orange with the holidays because like the whole citrus spice thing. So I love anything that has orange in it. So what did I say? 4 drops. 1, 2, 4. And 1 for good luck. And then we are going to do balsam fir. And balsam fir it reminds me of when I would go hiking in Vermont. I did my undergraduate at UVM, and I would go hiking in the winter, and we'd reach the top of either Camel's Hump or Mount Mansfield, and there's snow already up there, and it's hitting the pine trees, and when you're hiking and you're knocking into the pine trees, brushing past them, you're releasing a lot of those volatile oils, and we smell the spruce and the pine and the fir, and it just takes me back to those hiking moments. So we're going to do 8 drops of our balsam fir. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Excellent. And last but not least, we are going to do 8 drops of pine. Pine, you can either buy individually, or we do have it in our holiday essential oil kit, which has 3 of the oils we're going to be using this evening: cinnamon, peppermint, and pine. So I will grab the pine out of it. And it literally smells like you're putting your face in a pine tree. It's so nice. Like, it's even cutting through my congestion right now, and I can actually smell it. But again, that pinene is such a cool constituent. And we're going to do 8 drops of this one. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Brilliant. And that is all you have to do to make a room mist. Super simple. And again, you could substitute vegetable glycerin if you didn't want to do an oil. Vegetable glycerin has a really nice humectant property for the skin, so it's really skin softening and moisturizing. This isn't necessarily one I would think of as like a facial mist. I typically don't want to put a lot of like pine or conifer constituents super near my face. I'd much rather do like a sweet orange and lavender as a face mist. But this one is just, give it a couple of pumps. There we go. Oh, that's so lovely. So this is how I'm gonna spread the holiday cheer in my airspace. Absolutely love it. So that is our room mist. Let's take a quick sip of my magical Tulsi cinnamon tea. Oh man, again, organic India. Their tea blends are so nice. The other one I love is Tulsi Sweet Rose, which their descriptor for that is stress relieving and magical, which it 100% is. Okay. So this next recipe, I'm going to move my tea out of the way for it, is a lot of fun. It is a gingerbread hand wash. So you're going to be using any unscented hand soap as a base for this one. And I did see a couple questions coming into the chat about being able to watch this later. Absolutely. It will go up on our YouTube channel. And Elena, yes, thank you for mentioning that. Anytime you're going to use the room mist, any room mist, you want to make sure you shake it very well. I will say, with the exception of our new aromatherapy air care mists that we launched, those ones, they have an ingredient in them that keeps the essential oils integrated in solution. When you just do essential oils in water, even with a carrier oil, essential oils and oil are hydrophobic, meaning they're afraid of water, so they will separate. You'll actually notice the oil and essential oils sitting on top. You just want to shake it before you use it. Super simple. All right. So for the hand wash, like I said, you're going to use any unscented hand soap for this product. I went with Dr. Bronner's 4-in-1 baby unscented organic soap. I love Dr. Bronner's. I think they're a great company. I tend to have a lot of reactions to soaps and other skin products, and I don't react to Dr. Bronner's. So yeah, absolutely no scent. So what we're going to do is we are going to pour 2 ounces of our unscented soap into our lovely bottle here. Perfect. And then the rest of this will go up in my kid's bath. Waste not, want not. And then we are going to do a really fun combination that is absolutely reminiscent of gingerbread. So this recipe features fresh ginger. I can't even explain how much I love the fresh ginger. I actually was not a fan of our other ginger, which was distilled from the dried root. This one is distilled from the fresh root, and or I should say rhizome. It literally smells like when you're grating fresh ginger. It's so nice. It's very warming and comforting, just like we want gingerbread to be. So we're going to do 2 drops of the fresh ginger. 1, 2. One trick when you're pouring essential oils, the more upside down you hold the bottle, the faster the essential oils are going to drip out. So if you're only doing 2 drops, you want to hold it at more of an angle like this, and that'll cause them to drip out slowly, as opposed to this, and the drops will come out much more quickly. Just a fun little tip for you. And then we're going to do 10 drops of cardamom essential oil, another just warming, comforting, just absolutely lovely cardamom. If you've never combined cardamom and sandalwood or cardamom and rose for either a body oil or an aromatherapy mist, I highly recommend it. The combination of cardamom and sandalwood or cardamom and rose is just, it's so like earthy and spicy and so nice. So we're going to do 10 drops of this one. 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wonderful. And then we are going to need our holiday kit again, because we are doing 6 drops of cinnamon leaf essential oil. So cinnamon leaf essential oil, it smells much more like almost more like clove than what we would expect from like cinnamon bark, for example. So it is distilled from the true cinnamon tree, Ceylon cinnamon, or Cinnamomum verum, but it's distilled from the leaf instead of the bark. So it's much more almost like I don't even know if rich is the right word compared to like a cinnamon bark essential oil, but it's more reminiscent of clove, in my opinion, than cinnamon bark. It's very nice. So we'll do 6 drops of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oop, and 1 for good luck. All right. And then last but not least, our actual clove bud, which again, just comforting, warming. I love clove. One of my favorite things to make around the holidays is taking a fresh orange and just sticking cloves into the peel and like hanging that as a just like a room aromatherapy decoration. And you can even spray the mist we made on that. It's really nice. I love clove. 6 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. All right. And then that is so nice. All we do is we put the cap on. We're just going to give it a nice, gentle little topsy-turvy here. And then to use it, all you do is pour a little bit out into your hands when you need to wash your hands. And voila, you could even put it in, if you have, you know, an empty soap bottle like this, or one that you have in your bathroom that you refill, you can make this in a larger amount and put it in a pump bottle. I have my eye on a couple of really nice ceramic soap dispensers from Etsy that I've been, you know, eyeing for a while, and I really want to get them. They've got like leaf imprints on them, on the ceramic, and I would love to get one of those and fill it up with this soap for the holidays. Oh, that's so nice. Again, I can even smell it through my lovely congestion here. So that is our gingerbread hand wash, and believe me, it smells just like gingerbread. I have these really fun, we always do cookie swaps with my son's preschool, and I have these really fun dinosaur cookie cutters with like T-Rex and Brachiosaurus and the footprints. So we're gonna make, my son really wants to make gingerbread this year, so we're gonna do that for our cookie swap. Okay, so this next recipe is a little bit more involved, but no less fun and exciting. We are going to be making candy cane bath salts. So I am going to be cutting the recipe in half and only making 2 cups total instead of 4 cups, just because I don't have quite enough salt for the full recipe. And that's a lot of bath salts. I haven't really decided who I'm giving what yet. So, but I actually think I am gonna put these in pretty little containers to give to my son's preschool teachers. So we are gonna do 1 cup of Himalayan pink salt, which is just so beautiful. 1 cup Himalayan pink salt. Got a couple of other greens in there that I can get out. There we go. And then we are going to do, you can do either 1 cup of coarse grind sea salt or 1 cup of Epsom salt. So I'm going to do Epsom salt because that's what I love working with, but either one is a good option. We're going to do 1 cup of Epsom salt. This is perfect because I literally had 1 cup of each left. All right. You can see, I mean, it's even cutting the recipe in half makes a decent amount of salt. So I'm just gonna go ahead and mix that. It almost looks like sprinkles, holiday sprinkles. All right. I don't know if you guys can see how pretty that looks, but I think that's beautiful. And then we are going to do, and again, I'm cutting this recipe in half. So the recipe calls for 1 ounce of skincare oil, and I'm going to cut that to a ½ ounce. A ½ ounce is 15 mils or 1 tablespoon. And I wanted to do jojoba because it's my favorite. You really can't go wrong with picking any of the skincare oils for this recipe. The reasons I love jojoba, I mean, there are multiple reasons I love jojoba. Number one, it's more of a liquid wax than an actual, like a true fatty oil. So it has a much longer shelf life than many of the other carrier oils. It's also more non-comedogenic, meaning it's less likely to clog pores than a lot of the other carrier oils. Not that we're using this on our face, but again, I adore jojoba oil. If you're interested in learning more about the carrier oils and when to choose which carrier oil, the difference between them, their fatty acid profile, that's going to be one of our classes coming up in the new year. So keep your eye out for our schedule once we get that posted of our upcoming free Orication virtual classes. So we're going to do 1 tablespoon or a ½ ounce of jojoba oil. And the reason we do that, again, is to protect our skin from direct contact with the essential oils. I see a lot of recipes online that say just put the essential oils on the sea salt or on, the Epsom salt and put it in the bath, and there you go. The problem with that is the essential oils aren't going to stay bound to the salt. They're going to enter the water and you will have direct contact between your skin and the essential oils. And that is no good, right? These are they're not just things that smell pretty. We are taking one of the strongest chemical components of a plant from pounds and pounds and pounds of plant matter and consolidating it into a single tiny little bottle. So we want to be very cognizant of how strong these essential oils are and take steps to protect ourselves. And one of those steps is making sure that we're using a carrier oil. So I'm just going to stir that around because that carrier oil will bind to the essential oil and protect our skin. And again, heat damages essential oils. That's one of the reasons I don't like diffusers where you put the candle underneath. So heat changes their composition. And if we're putting these bath salts in a hot bath, and that steam, one of the ways, the primary way we get essential oils out of the plants and into the pretty little bottles is through steam distillation, meaning you put a ton of plant matter in a big still, heat the water underneath to create steam. That steam releases the volatile oils, and we trap that steam and condense it back into a liquid, and that liquid is essential oil. So if we're putting this in a hot bath, those volatile oils are going to get lost in the steam of that hot bath. If they're bound to a carrier oil that's heavy and holds it in the water, we're going to get more benefit both through aromatherapy and contact with our skin through the carrier oil than if we didn't have it and they would just volatilize. So many reasons to love using carrier oils. I think I saw a question pop up about using CBD oil in this recipe. I don't see why you couldn't. It would just be a lot more expensive, right? I much prefer using my CBD oil internally as opposed to topically in a bath because you don't get as constant direct contact with the CBD and your skin. I'd much prefer like doing a CBD salve or massage oil where it's directly going on your skin. But that being said, there's no reason you couldn't substitute CBD oil in this for jojoba. That was a great question. All right. So now our essential oils. So we are going to find our sweet orange again, and we're going to do 4 drops of sweet orange. One, and I'm having this, so I'm doing 2. So 2 drops of sweet orange, 2 drops of vanilla in jojoba. So I will take that down to 1. So you can see our beautiful new label refresh here. Our wonderful graphic designer came up with these amazing new labels for our oils. And one of the things I want to point out is the difference between our essential oils and our ready-to-use oils. So you can see the ready-to-use oils have, like the vanilla, have this yellow band at the top. That indicates these ones are already diluted in jojoba. So these ones are ready to go on the skin right out of the bottle, just like a roll-on. All of the other essential oils are just the essential oils in this bottle, and they have to be diluted before they go on your skin. So the vanilla ready to use means it's the vanilla essential oil already diluted in jojoba. And adding it to this recipe, especially when we combine it with peppermint and spearmint, gives it that creamy candy cane-like aroma. I know I did 2 instead of 1, and that's okay because it's amazing. Vanilla essential oil is magical. And then we are going to do 2 drops of spearmint. Oh, that's refreshing. And I actually am diverting from the recipe a little bit. The recipe calls for regular peppermint essential oil, and I'm going to substitute my favorite, which is the sweet peppermint essential oil. The reason for that is the sweet peppermint goes through an additional distillation process to remove one of the constituents, and it, to me, smells much more reminiscent of a candy cane as opposed to the regular peppermint, which is here, that smells much more herbal. It smells more like a green leaf as opposed to a candy cane. So either one works, and I am going with sweet peppermint. And we're going to do 2 drops of that. 1, 2. All right. That's how I can tell which lid went on which. Just like that. Peppermint, sweet peppermint. All right. And then we stir it all together. And that is how you make a bath salt. If you wanted to get really crazy and make this even more exciting, you could add a little bit of citric acid to this, maybe like a 1/4 cup of citric acid, and that will have that like deconstructed bath bomb effect, right? It'll make it foamy and fizzy when you put it in the bath. But otherwise, this is all you need to do to make an amazing bath salt. I like to put them in pretty little jars like this, and then decorate the jar by putting like a little bit of, like, I like burlap ribbon around it for decoration. And it makes a wonderful little DIY holiday gift. So I think for my son's preschool teachers, I'm going to give them jars of bath salts and maybe a body oil and put together like a whole spa kit for the holidays for them, along with probably a Starbucks gift card because teachers need coffee. So those are the 3 recipes we have for you this evening: our wonderful room mist, our gingerbread hand soap, and my personal favorite, which is the candy cane bath salts. So I hope that you found some inspiration to make some holiday recipes for yourself. And a couple of announcements. As a thank you for joining us this evening, we do have a promo code for you that you can use with Oracacia Online to buy any of the Oracacia products, and that code is AC2590. Elena will put that in the chat box for you. Our next class is going to be on December 14th with me, and I'll be teaching about creating holiday ambiance with essential oils. So, as I said at the beginning of the class, if we can remember back that far, holidays can get crazy, right? They're so much fun. I see a question coming in about how much of the bath salts do you add per bath? That's a great question. I typically add anywhere from a half cup to a cup to my bath. If you don't have a bathtub, you can also get like a baking dish or a big bowl and pour the hot water in there, pour a quarter cup of the bath salts and do a foot soak. So that's a great option if you don't have a bathtub. But holiday ambiance. So holidays are so much fun and so wonderful to see family or travel, but they can also be very chaotic. And I think learning how to use aroma to slow things down and calm the space is one of the most powerful tools in my toolbox to kind of help me manage the sensory overload of the holidays that I frequently experience. So I'll be sharing some of my favorite recipes, like a simmer pot for creating that like holiday vibe in the house, but also the recipes to really help hold our space. And especially those of us who are prone to sensory overload help us kind of like breathe and get through it. We also are going to be continuing our Facebook Lives. So Elena and I typically take turns. She does the first one, which is usually the first week of the month, and I do the second one, which is towards the end of the month for our Facebook Lives. Elena is going to be going on maternity leave soon with a sweet, sweet little baby. So I will be doing all of the Facebook Lives going forward. So from December through when she comes back sometime in March, as well as the upcoming free virtual classes will all be with me while Elena is on maternity leave. So let's all send her wonderful vibes for happy birth and wonderful snuggles in the new year with her sweet little baby. And she'll be joining us back in March, I believe. So again, thank you all so much for joining me this evening. I know Elena's been holding down the chat box, so thank you for that, Elena. Please be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram, where we'll post our schedules for upcoming virtual classes, as well as being able to connect with us for our Facebook Lives and learn a little bit more about aromatherapy and Oracacia products. I hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving and a beautiful holiday season. If I don't get to see you at the next class, otherwise, I will see you December 14th. Have a great night, everybody.